Deakin Stadium is the venue for the PS4 MPL Canberra clash this afternoon as second meets third, Canberra FC versus Canberra Olympic. I'm Russ Gibbs, your commentator for today, and joining me in the commentary box is Belconnen United head coach Dean Ugrinnick. Good afternoon, Dean, and welcome to Deakin. We're looking forward to what should be a cracker today.
Pleasure.
We'll have a look at the two teams in a minute. Just want to talk about very briefly about your team last night. 6-0 win over Riverina Rhinos, puts you back into the top four. Pretty happy with the performance?
You're very happy with the performance last night. The boys were outstanding.
Anyone in particular catch your eye in your lineup?
No, it was an all-round team effort. I thought everyone was exceptional last night.
Yeah, goals from Isaac Clements, Dustin Wells, Jason Ugrinnick, Daniel Fabrizio, and a brace from Michael Tarazzi, giving you the points there over a Riverina team that I understand didn't offer much of a threat going forward and didn't even have a shot. No.
It was an outstanding performance for the guys. I mean, we were very dominant in attack. We were excellent, off the ball defensively, and they didn't have a shot on a goal all throughout that 90 minutes. So it was a very pleasing performance.
And there was one other game yesterday as well. The FFA Centre of Excellence went to the top of the table with a 3-0 over Tuggeranong. Goals from Truin Muratovic and Jacob Italiano there. And they're looking the goods this year as well. They've come on leaps and bounds from their first season together.
The Centre of Excellence are, in my opinion, the standout side. They're certainly the harder side that we've played so far this season. And, if they can continue in that form, they'll be well placed in the finish.
Looking ahead to this afternoon, the teams will be out very shortly. There's a couple of other games taking place across Canberra, the region. Gungahlin United play Woden Western and Tigers FC play Monero Panthers. You'd probably expect home wins from those two matches?
Yeah, you'd think so. Gungahlin are having a very good season under Marcel. Of course, Cooma in Cooma is always difficult.
So looking ahead to this game then, the two teams which will be out on the field in just a moment, Canberra FC rather, let's start with them. Sam Brown is in goal. A back three, it looks like, of Michael Metzer, Marko Verkic and Ivan Pavlak. Then four across the middle, Jordan Lamb, Ian Graham, Aidan Brunskill and Nika Kresic. Matthew Waters just behind Kofi Danning and Dominic Giampaolo up front. You expect them to play in that formation, or do you think it will be more of a 5-5 defensively?
I think they'll go with 5 defensively. And those two wing backs will generally sit until such time that the ball is delivered into the front third, and then you'll see some of those wing backs advancing. But generally, when the ball's when plays in the middle third or the back third, they'll generally stay in that 5.
Plenty of pace out wide in Kresic and Lamb as well. Do you think that could be a deciding factor this afternoon, or has Olympic got too much defensively for those pair to cause much of a problem? No,
they are. When they do go forward, they offer a lot of problems to solve. It'll be interesting to see how Olympic line up, obviously to counter those two wing backs.
This is the first time this season that Canberra FC will have been on. Viewers may have seen Canberra FC on Bar TV, and Kofi Danning in the lineup will catch their eye as well. Good to see him back and playing a bit of football.
Oh, absolutely. Kofi, we last saw Kofi in Canberra with the O'Connor Knights, and I happened to have the pleasure of coaching him in that one season that we had the pleasure of seeing him. He went on to some bigger and better things beyond that, but obviously now he's come back home, so to speak, at his junior club, and of course he's a quality player.
Whilst there's a lot of familiar names in that Canberra FC team to local listeners and viewers, Matthew Waters came into the squad this year from Woden, and he settled in pretty well and is a danger from set pieces. Yeah,
absolutely. To be honest with you, I'd not heard of him prior to probably this season. It certainly didn't catch my eye, but certainly in the earlier game this year that we played him, he was he's been a very good player for them, a dangerous player.
Yeah, we'll have a look then at the Canberra Olympic team. They obviously won the Westwood FA Cup qualifying final here last week. Angelo Constantinou continues in goal. They'll have 4 across the back. Tim Bobolas, Nick Bobolas, Phil Yarnell comes into the team that won that cup competition, and Josh Calabria at left back. Midfields of Daniel Colbertado and Nathan Medjic just behind the outstanding Robbie Katnach. Forward 3 of Tom McLaughlin, Stephen Dominici and Jeremy Habtemariam. Pretty classy outfit, Dean, when you look through that 11.
It's solid everywhere. It really is a solid outfit.
And last week, Robbie Katnach made the difference with a couple of goals. You're not surprised by that, are you?
No. He's been the standout player in the competition for the last couple of years, and it's no coincidence that wherever he is, he generally you're going to win games.
And looking at the respective strength of the two benches, Canberra FC to start with, James Field, Kai Edwards, Thomas Milosevic, Daniel Subasic and Mitch Kay on the bench there. James Field, an ex-Olympic player as well, so he'll be keen to do well this afternoon.
Absolutely. So my understanding, he's been out injured for most of the season, so it's probably a welcome relief for Deacon to have him back.
And Canberra Olympic, Michael Reeve, Bernard René, Joshua Gillespie, Cal Smith and Jamie Lee Goyle, who's the reserve goalkeeper. Last week we talked about, when Andy Bennell with me last week, about the quality of Josh Gillespie, and he came on and did quite well towards the end there. We're expecting more of the same this afternoon if Olympic need him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they've got a solid bench, Olympic, not only Josh, but there's a couple of others there that they won't lose anything when they come on.
Canberra Olympic have 7 wins in succession in this competition, 8 overall. They're second in the table. They win 1 point behind the FFA Centre of Excellence yesterday. But they have 2 games in hand, and Canberra FC are third with 6 wins, 2 draws and 2 losses with 20 points. But their form hasn't been great coming into this one, has it? Only 2 points from the last 9, a draw with the FFA Centre of Excellence, a loss here at home against Gungahlin, and then a draw, somewhat surprisingly, against Riverina last week. Do you think that'll be a cause for concern for Marko Verkic?
It probably is, but what I know about Canberra FC is that when they are facing a difficult time, they bunker in, and I'm sure that there'll be an improved performance this afternoon. And of course, it's always it's a derby game, and there's it's a rivalry. It doesn't matter where these teams are on the table. They'll always come out and give it their all.
I'm going to address the elephant in the room here for Canberra FC as well, which is the absence of their leading goal scorer, Thomas James. I understand there's been a disagreement between him and the club, and at the moment he's unavailable for selection. Big loss for them in terms of what he brings to the team, in terms of his goal-scoring ability.
Absolutely, he offers that pace, that unpredictability, the ability to take a couple of players on and beat them, and I think in this particular formation that Marko has, they do need that pace, someone like a TJ, and I think they're going to miss that this afternoon.
So it's Canberra Olympic in the blue shirts and blue shorts who will kick off, attacking the goal to our left. Canberra FC in their traditional red, white and blue. And it's Stephen Dominici, the league's leading goal scorer, who will get us underway. To Nathan Megic and Canberra Olympic. Fond memories of this ground. They often do well here. Won at the, as we mentioned, the FFA Cup here last week. And Dean, seems to be a ground that brings out the best in them.
I think they enjoy playing here.
Here's Yarnold, looking for Habtemariam. Firm challenge coming in from Verkic, but Habtemariam rides it. Cole Bataldo. Neat and tidy from Daniel Colbertaldo, as we'd expect. And the Bobolus boys exchanging passes. And a raking ball forward by Tim Bobolus. Down the wing, looking for the run of Katnach. But Michael Mentzer comes across and defends him pretty well. And Daniel Colbertaldo last week, Dean, in the final, showed all the qualities that he's got. He makes his team tick, doesn't he? He goes under the radar quite a lot, but a very good player.
He's it looks to me like he's improved as a footballer over the last couple of years. He's a complete footballer now, and he's instrumental to everything that Olympic do.
Well, Katnach whips in the free kick, and it's cleared only as far as Tom McLaughlin, whose touch lets him down a little bit, and I think it's Kresic who can bring it clear to Dominic Giampaolo. And a chance perhaps for Canberra Olympic to break away, Canberra FC rather, to break away on the left-hand side. Support is slow in coming in the box, but Danning is there, but that's straight into the hands of Angelo Constantinu, who interestingly wandered out for a warm-up about 10 minutes before kickoff. It's a bit cold here, isn't it? They probably staying warm in the dressing room.
I think Ange has deserved the right to do whatever he likes.
So early stages of the game, that's Waters, who we talked about just beforehand, setting it forward, but Yarnold's going to pick it up. The quiet opening to the match is Calabria. Back to Yarnold. Noticeable already that Canberra FC, Dean, aren't pressing the Olympic back four, happy to let them have the ball.
Yeah, it looks like they'd want to draw them all out and just wait till the ball gets played into the defensive block, and then hopefully they can exploit those gaps in behind the two centre-backs.
It's a ball from Yarnold, finds Colbertaldo in a little pocket of space. Here's McLaughlin, back to Colbertaldo, but his pass forward is picked off, and Ian Graham can start a Canberra FC counter. Here's Verkic. Canberra FC's turn to start again from the back with Sam Brown, a young goalkeeper. Strikes it forward. decent knock forward by Kresic, I think that is, over there in the sun on the left-hand side. Reasonable crowd in at the moment here at Deakin Stadium. Hoping to get some decent action to warm them up as well, as it's, as I mentioned, a very cold day. Here's Magic. A lot of space for him to working. Danning tracks back, though, and wins the ball well. And Waters can start again. Here's Pavlak. Reinvented himself, really, Dean, as a defensive player. Ivan Pavlak used to be charging down the wing here at Deakin Stadium in days gone by. Yeah,
very dangerous winger in his day. But he's certainly very effective in that role.
Here's Kresic again. And Pavlak. No real tempo to it so far as Mensah sends it forward. It's picked up by Kadnac, who rides one challenge and goes through a second and slides a ball into the air. Real chance for Dominici perhaps to go around Brown. Opportunity already, and Sam Brown makes a decent save on the return. It's going to break for Dominici again, though. An Olympic pressing already. Here's McLaughlin, and that ball will roll out for a corner. Great chance for Stephen Dominici.
Yeah, look, it's no surprise that Robbie Kadnac is the catalyst for that. I mean, his ability to ride a couple of challenges and then slip to Stephen Dominici. I think that's been something they've been doing for years.
And Brown did well to make the save.
Yeah, look, good save.
So the first corner of the afternoon, Tom McLaughlin will take it. Plenty of bodies in there, but he goes out to the edge of the area where Dominici's not been picked up, and he's chipped it into the area, and Mensah clears it. It's going to fall for Kadnac, who just tries the acrobatic volley, but it onto the roof of the net. And Canberra FC went to sleep there briefly. Dean, you wouldn't want to leave Dominici alone on the edge of the penalty area with the quality he has.
No, and again, Robbie Kadnac's got that ability to draw a couple of defenders out, beat them, and of course that leaves a little bit of space for Stephen Dominici, who happens to find spaces. He's got an ability to do that.
It's the first scare of the afternoon for the home side, and they survive it thanks to Sam Brown's agility. Here's McLaughlin. Now Kadnac. Colbertado just lifts it over the back four, or back three rather, but it's going to bounce harmlessly through to Brown. Here's Jordan Lamb. And Brown sends that one forward, looking for Danning. A little push in the back there, perhaps from Yarnold, not given by the referee, and Nick Bobolas completes the clearance. Mensah finds Gianpaolo, nice touch around the corner, and Yarnold is snapping in on Danning, but it's broken for Lamb, and a chance perhaps for Canberra FC as Danning is in behind, but the flag will go up, and a couple of yards offside there.
Yeah, no, clearly offside.
Interesting battles early on. Phil Yarnold sticking pretty close to Kofi Danning. You expect to see most of that this afternoon?
Yeah, absolutely. It looks very much like Kofi and Dom are playing a little narrower, but it'll be quite interesting to see how they combine together.
Here's Magic. Sweeps the ball out towards Tim Bobolas. And Colbertado, nice turn in the middle of the park from the midfielder, and he slid a great ball down the channel for Dominici, and a chance perhaps for Olympic to break Dominici into the area. He's got two bodies to aim. One of them is Kadnac, who's there, but it's rolled across his body, and Robbie Kadnac couldn't get the connection on it. The lunging challenge by Marko Vrkic to attempt to intercept the ball perhaps put him off, but great chance that for someone of Robbie Kadnac's ability.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, it all started with a great piece of play by young Colbertado, and what a great ball into Robbie Kadnac.
Do you think the challenge from Vrkic was just enough to put him off? You'd expect Robbie to be taking those chances.
Yeah, I think Robbie would be disappointed with missing that one.
With 6 minutes gone, and it's mostly been Canberra Olympic as an attacking threat. A couple of good opportunities have gone their way.
Yeah, they're playing in behind that last line quite easily, and so quite threatening.
And Canberra FC yet to really settle. Here's Habtemarian with the throw. He's going to leave it for Josh Calabria. Here's Kadnac. Touch lets him down on that occasion, and Vrkic wins it. Here's Graham. Experienced midfielder Ian Graham, been around for a long time, and brings a calmness to this team.
Yeah, looks solid midfielder. Rate Ian Graham's been a good quality footballer for Deakin for a long time.
Pavlak finds Danning. Now Lamb. Brunskill. Who's gone the other way to Pavlak, hasn't he? Aidan Brunskill was mostly a central defender. Now they pushed him into more of a holding midfield role.
Yeah, surprising move, that one. He's played a majority of his time as a wing-back.
It's Kresic. Now Gianpaolo. And Brunskill again, and Graham. Canberra FC looking for an opening. Ian Graham spots a run out wide of Kresic, who's taken up a good position close to the touchline. I know he can take on Tim Boblist from here. Will Kresic, and Boblist as well to stand him up. Here's Waters. And Graham. And back they go again. Pavlak to Mensah. Patience is a key here for Canberra FC as Mensah looks to send that one towards Jordan Lamb. It's a good ball too, and Calabria comes across. Great raking pass there from Michael Mensah. And you can see that both teams pretty comfortable in possession and happy to wait for the opportunities to arise.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's an offside. Here's Habtemariam. Cadnach from Magic and back again to Magic, and overhits that one.
Yeah, it looks very much like Olympic have got a set plan of trying to play early over the top of the back three.
Looking perhaps for the pace of Dominici. He's definitely got the ability to get in there and trouble Michael Mensah, who's a good, strong central defender, but not the quickest. No,
absolutely. And with the back three, you know, those areas, those wide areas are exposed, and I'm sure that we've already seen it, that Stephen Dominici and Robbie Catton have exposed those areas.
We'll see if they can take advantage of that later in the game as we progress. Here's Pavlak. Kresic inside the Brunskill. Danning tried to roll to Nick Boblist, but Nick Boblist showed good strength, and he comes forward with it, and it keeps carrying it, does a central defender, but just runs out of space on the touchline over there. Good, strong central defensive qualities from Nick Boblist as well.
Look, I think that back four is extremely solid, and when you think that Nathan Magic is actually playing as a midfielder, and he's quite comfortable playing as a central defender as well, it's pretty solid back five.
You're not going to cough up too many chances, you wouldn't think, this afternoon. So if Canberra FC are going to score, they're going to have to do it the hard way. Once they get past that back five, of course, they've only got Angelo Constantino to get past.
Yes.
Here's Gianpaolo. And Kresic held his run, was going to be offside, and I think a little miscommunication there, but a chance for Canberra Olympic to regather. We spoke about him last week in the FFA Cup final. Angelo Constantino just keeps on going on, doesn't he?
He's an amazing coach, amazing club man. He has a wonderful career, and it looks like it's going to continue for a long time.
An amazing spring and agility for a big goalkeeper as well. He made a great save last week from Roberts when the game was at 1-0.
He's a match winner in his own right.
And loves his penalties. I wonder if we'll see him today.
Strikes them well, doesn't he?
He certainly does. Here's Magic. Just waiting for this one to really kick into gear as a contest. Here's Yarnold. There's that ball that Dean spoke about a moment ago over the back. And Calabria tries to find Dominici and Magic and Mensah with the acrobatic clearance. Here's Brunskill. Now Yarnold tight to Danning again, but this time Danning's got away from him, and Danning won't be caught by Phil Yarnold. There's a chance perhaps here for Canberra FC. Danning into the area, rolls it across the ball. It's going to come out to the left wing. The strike comes in, brilliantly saved by Constantino down low. It was Kresic, I think, who got the left-footed shot away, and Constantino showed just the qualities we were talking about. But there's the danger of Yarnold diving in on Danning, because once Danning got away, there was only one winner in that race.
Yeah, absolutely. Phil Yarnold shot out of the line, and you know, Kofi had that individual brilliance to take him on, and go past that last line, and of course get in nice. And it was a great ball, and Kresic, great strike.
A chance here for the corner from Gianpaolo. Plenty of bodies to aim for. Verkic is up there too. It's going to come for Danning, but headed clear by Bobolis. Falls for... was a ball out wide, and I think the flag's up for some reason.
Yeah.
There's a crossfield ball from Kresic, and I think there's Gianpaolo just coming back from taking the corner. Was a bit lazy getting back onside, and coughs up possession cheaply. Do you think Danning may have wanted to shot himself from that angle, Dean, or was that the correct option?
Oh no, I think he took the right option. I don't think that angle. It looked like Angelo was set there, so he certainly took the right option.
Yeah, it was a good chance, the first one of the afternoon for Canberra FC, and a warning for Olympic. Cadnach flicks that on, and it's going to fall for Dominici. No one ahead of him, so he's got to come back. Ball's clipped into the middle, and Mensah slices his clearance somewhat, but it's out for a throw.
You can see that back five. Once that back five is set, it's pretty hard to break down.
It's a throw into there, and it's a bit of a waste. It's going to go straight through to Sam Brown. Signs are there will be chances, though, Dean, this afternoon, even though both defences are pretty good. There's going to be opportunities.
There's just too many quality players on both sides, particularly in their front lines, not to create those chances. And here we go.
Was Lamb. It took a deflection and it's hooked clear by Yarnold. For a second v third at the moment, there's not really been much bite though, has there? It's a funny game. It's got a funny feeling about it.
Needs a goal, Russ.
Love the old cliches coming out. It certainly does. It's still early days, mind. We've only had 13 minutes. I think it might boil into something quite good by the end of the afternoon.
Absolutely. Look, it's a little bit cagey at the moment. Both teams are trying to play football, which is nice for the fans here.
Here's Danning to Brunskill. Very advanced there. But he runs into Yarnold, and here's a chance for Olympic on the break. Habtemariam finds Katnach. Ian Graham's back quickly, but that's a pass back to Habtemariam, who's challenged well by Mensah and Vulakic and Lamb combine. And Danning is in behind again. The flag's up, and that was close. And so it looks like a good outlet, that one, for Canberra FC if they can get through there.
Oh, look, there is no doubt that Gofi Danning, if he can work in between those two, well, certainly the fullback and the centre back, if he can get that ball and get a good touch in behind that line, I'm sure that he'll pose plenty of problems.
Well, here's a chance for Habtemariam. He's got in behind the Canberra FC defence. Opportunity perhaps to get the ball into the penalty area. It's McLaughlin who got there first, but his touch was a bit heavy and FC can clear. And Danning and Yarnold, this is turning into quite a good little battle between these two. One to keep an eye on.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can see that they're exposing those little areas that we spoke about earlier on, and that's Olympic, of course, and as you say, Kofi and Phil. Definitely going to be one that we're going to keep an eye out on.
And I just heard over the loudspeaker there that it's Gungahlin United 0, Woden Western 2, which is a bit of a surprise. As Yarnold comes across to win the tackle from Jordan Lamb. Expected Gungahlin to perhaps win that one this afternoon and 2-0 down early.
Woden have made a couple of signings during the week that have strengthened them, so yeah, it's good.
Here's Verkic up towards the back post, and McLaughlin was beaten in the air, but it's going to bounce harmlessly to Constantinu, who bowls it out to this near side. Here's Calabria. And Yarnold. Here's Nick Bobolis. Gives it to Tim Bobolis, who tries to find McLaughlin, but is read really well by Pavlak, who comes forward and plays the ball into Gianpaolo. Now here's Danning on this near side. Brings out his spell and a chance perhaps to take on Yarnold again. Feels he's got the beating of him and clips it towards the far post. And that's a dangerous looking ball. It's hooked back into the penalty area and Calabria has to deal with it. And once again, Danning looking dangerous as an attacking force for this Canberra FC side.
You can see there's a clear strategy for Canberra FC. They're waiting for that ball to get played inside the defensive block, and when they do win it, they're trying to spring or play the ball early and try to take advantage of the disrupted line.
Well, Dominic Gianpaolo is going to swing this corner into the penalty area. It's a good-looking one too. Big challenge from two or three players, and it's broken for Dominic, who just hooks it up the field to Katnach. Nothing really on for Robbie Katnach, just to hold it up, and he's giving it straight to Aidan Brunskill, who's stabbed it towards Danning on the edge of the area. Shooting chance for Kofi Danning, and Constantinu has to plunge to his right to catch the ball, but another opportunity for Canberra FC from an uncharacteristic loose pass from Katnach.
Yeah, definitely. Certainly dangerous on the counter. That's Deacon, that is.
Well, Danning looking their most likely source of a goal this afternoon at the moment. Pavlak plays it wide to Kresic. Not afraid to take on his man Nico Kresic.
Yeah, good young player. Very, very, very good young player. Promising player.
Here's Danning. The ball is punched over the top towards Gianpaolo, but the flag's going to go up against him as well. The back four from Canberra Olympic have got this offside trap down pat so far. And it's something they've been working on, obviously, I think, Dean, with Frank Keisha for a number of years now, and it's a very experienced back four as well.
It is. It's very, very solid. He's had them for a few years now, and so, yeah, they've got complete trust and faith in in each other.
just being a bit sloppy in possession lately, Canberra Olympic, and that's captain actually gave it away again there. Here's Gianpaolo. He's bundled off the ball and it's going to break for Magic. No foul there, says the referee Bruno Kell. Assisted this afternoon by Nathan Shakespeare and Lawrence Atkin. Bruno Kell did the final on the weekend, Dean, and did a decent job as well. Weren't talking about the referee at the end of it, which is always a good thing.
Yeah, I think he's one of our leading referees here. He has been, by all accounts, he's been doing a good job. He didn't do a good job for us about 3-4 weeks ago, unfortunately. We lost.
There's always one complaint from somewhere.
Blame him.
Dunning looking to take on Yarnold again, but this time Phil Yarnold used the experience to get in front of Dunning, and again a good little battle, but the pass is a bit short. Brunskill could have got Gianpaolo in behind there, and he's a bit rotten at himself for the fact he didn't weight the pass properly. Here's Dominici, lovely touch back inside to Habtemariam. Bag full of tricks, Jeremy Habtemariam usually. Here's McLaughlin, and that's a wasted possession again, and usually, Dean, the midfield of Canberra Olympic is quite good in possession, but today it's been a bit sloppy.
Yeah, it's young Cobaltaldo is obviously doing some good things in there, but as you say, just up a little bit further up the park, it's struggling.
We've had 90 minutes here live on Bar TV in the PS4 MPL Canberra. It's Canberra FC 0, Canberra Olympic 0. In this match, which picked second against third. I do say second with Canberra Olympic. They do have 2 games in hand and only a point behind the leaders. Very much the favourites, you would think, to reclaim the title that they won last year, Dean, and go ahead and push for grand final glory again.
Oh, well, they're certainly favourites for it. They've got a very solid outfit.
Well, here's Danning looking to do some damage for FC. Swings it into the penalty area, and it's going to break for Gianpaolo. The chance on the shot is saved by Constantino. Back for Gianpaolo, and this time the clearance is completed by Nick Bobolis. And once again, Kofi Danning involved in creating the opportunities. It's still there for FC. Here's Gianpaolo again on the right foot, dinks it into the penalty area. Yarnold's cleared it this time, and McLaughlin helps it on its way, but it's going to come back again through Pavlak. Wide to Kresic. Swings it into the box, looking for Danning, who's beaten to it by Calabria. Race between Habtemariam and Lamb, which Lamb wins. Looking for an option. And he picks one out with Michael Mensah, and Canberra FC really settled into this so far. Dean, the last couple of minutes, they've been the more likely.
Oh, absolutely. And Kofi's causing all sorts of problems for Olympic at the moment.
Yeah, they can't cope with him at the moment, but still no goals. His Waters making the run in behind the defence onto that left foot, and he's got a good left foot, but this time I've cursed him a bit, and he's chipped that one away. And I was here with Andy Burnell in the cup final on the weekend. We were talking about the merits of the Olympic defence as it was then, and today with Nick Bobolis and Phil Yarnold in it. A lot of experience, a lot of quality, but maybe a lack of pace.
Maybe that's the case, Russ. I still feel that with Phil, he's got Phil Yarnold. He's got a lot of experience, and he knows how to position his body when the good ball gets played in behind him. It'll be interesting to sort of see if Frank decides to move Phil off Kofi and potentially swap the 2 centre backs over. He'd certainly match up better with Dom, that's for sure.
As Cobaltaldo looks for the run of Habtemariam, but it's going to go straight through to Sam Brown. Real tactical battle so far, neither side coming out on top. Canberra FC perhaps having the 2 best chances. A couple of good saves from Constantino, but of course at the other end Brown denied Dominici, and there was a good chance for Cadnach too, so honours pretty much even. Here's Mensah looking for a raking ball forward to Gianpaolo, but he's overhit that one, and that's easy for Constantino. A chance for Olympic perhaps to get their attacking game into gear. Magic's loose ball again, and that's frustrated Frank Casey, who throws his hands up in frustration. Magic was looking for the run, I think, of Calabria, which didn't eventuate. Yarnold wins that ahead of Danning, and it's back towards Verkic. Brown confidently slams that one forward. Bobbled a bit on him there, Dean, but the surface for this time of year is pretty good here at Deakin Stadium.
It's always a good surface. It's a great facility to play football on, and that's why it's a little bit of a surprise that Deakin will deciding to kick out rather than try to play through the lines.
And maybe it's a sign of the respect they held the Canberra Olympic midfield in that they're trying to bypass it and create the contest further up the park?
Yeah, maybe. I just feel that once the ball's in a contest, that back four is very comfortable, in the high ball.
Where's Mensah? Again, he looks for the ball forward and swings a decent one this time into the path of Kresic, who's got a run of Waters. Nick Bobolas goes across to win it and smashes that one out the ground, and Waters catches him late, so it's a free kick. Michael Mensah's an interesting character, isn't he, Dean? He's had a bit of a checkered career here at Canberra FC. Lots of dismissals, unfortunately, but he's a pretty solid player, but needs to perhaps curb his enthusiasm a little bit.
When he's on, he's probably one of the best defenders in Canberra. Disciplined. When he's got that discipline to play about him. Unfortunately, there's that other side to him, which is unfortunate. Yeah,
he's seen red a few times over the last few seasons.
Yeah, because he's a decent player. He can really play.
He reads the game well. Played at a decent level, I think, in Sweden and also in Asia. His Calabria. Constantinu sends this one forward, looking for Dominici. Mensah's going to be under this, though, and wins it easily. Thumping header forward, and Yarnold this time nips in front of Danning again. That's clearly what he's been assigned to do today, as McLaughlin looks for Dominici and Mensah wins it. Oh, but he's made a mistake there, and Dominici has a chance. He shoots low, and Brown is down to smother, and that was probably our fault for bigging him up there. Mensah, he's made a bit of an error, and Dominici almost pounced.
Yeah, it seems like that's how some of these chances are coming about through individual mistakes.
Kresic sends it forward, and Yarnold wins that ahead of Danning, who's going to get the ball back with a bit of space in which to turn, and he'll advance towards goal here. Danning now slides it wide towards Graham, but Constantinu's read it and come out well.
Kofi's certainly looking pretty dangerous, isn't he, every time he gets the ball in those sort of little pockets.
Yeah, Phil Yarnold's obviously pretty tight to him, trying to nip in and stop him turning and running at the defence. Mensah does well there this time to knock it back to Brown. Very calm defending.
I think you can see when the ball's in a contest there, it feels more comfortable. Nowhere near as comfortable.
Well, Gianpaolo's robbed. Now here's Haptamarian. Real chance if he can slide in Dominici, but he can't. And Mensah wins it brilliantly, aided by Brunskill. And that's good defending by Canberra FC to deny the opportunity, which would have put Dominici clear. Here's Verkic, but he's giving it away. And Colbertaldo can pick it up, and Olympic can go forward again with Katnach. A little bit of a hack at him there from Ivan Pavlak, and he wins the free kick in a central position. Good defending from Mensah, though, to read that one and block the opportunity, as Dominici would have been clear.
Yeah, they transitioned very well there, didn't he?
So Colbertaldo's over this free kick. Midway through the first half. Not the best angle to pick anything out here, but Colbertaldo chips it into the air, and it's a fairly tame effort, which Brown collects, and he throws it out for Danning, and he's looking to use his pace to get away from Colbertaldo. He's got Lamb in support. Jordan Lamb can bring it forward. If he puts that ball in behind, which he has, here's a real opportunity in the area for Waters, but what a tackle that is by Bobolas. It's broken for Gianpaolo, and away it goes. The chance has gone begging. At the other end now, perhaps there's a break for Olympic with McLaughlin, who looks to sweep the ball to this near side. Haptamarian's brought it under control, but it's bounced off Graham, and it will be out for a throw, and a great opportunity for Matthew Waters, but what a fantastic piece of defending by Bobolas.
Look, it was good play all round, and I think young Waters will rue that miss, to be honest with you. It was a good opportunity. Couldn't
get it out of his feet in time to get the shot away. Exactly. But good defending, credit where it's due.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's Calabria. And there's a good challenge as well from the retreating Danning. Concedes the corner. Happy to put the yards in defensively as well, Kofi Danning. Corner for Canberra Olympic. Tom McLaughlin's going to come across to swing this one into the penalty area. They've sent up Nick Bobolas as well. Magic's lurking around on the edge of the box. Usual suspects. Stephen Dominici is back out on the edge of the area again, which is a little bit surprising perhaps, as McLaughlin swings that in, and the header is cleared by Marko Verkic. He's claiming it came off of the Olympic player. It was Tim Bobolas, I think, who was getting in there. And the referee's given a corner, so Verkic must have got a touch. Dangerous ball in from McLaughlin there. See if he can do it again on this set piece as he swings it in. Brown comes and claims brilliantly. Good catch by the keeper. Tom McLaughlin, player you know pretty well, Dean, from Belconnen.
Oh, yeah, look, Tommy was fantastic for that season that he had with us. That grand final winning side. Yeah, quality player.
Yeah, they won the grand final here, and he was player of the match, I think, as well, and scored plenty of goals that season as well, didn't he, from an advanced midfield role?
An interesting player. He struggled to get into the lineup, but when he did, he took advantage of it.
He's got some good quality. He certainly made himself settled here at Olympic. Here's Gianpaolo looking for Danning, and Yarnold clears as far as Verkic, whose touch isn't great, and Habtemarian nicks it off his toe, but defensively Pavlak is across and Mensah's hoiked it in the air and Megic sent it back, and it's all a bit scrappy at the moment. No one can seem to put their foot on the ball. You may have heard that progress score from elsewhere. Tigers FC 1, Monero Panthers 0. And Woden Western still 2-0 up on Gungahlin. So some interesting scores. We just reiterate yesterday the FFA Centre of Excellence went top of the table with a 3-0 win over Tuggeranong, and Dean Ugrinek, who's with me in the commentary box today, his Belconnen United side playing probably the best football of the season they've put in with a 6-0 win over Riverina Rhinos at McKellar Park. And Belconnen as a club, Dean, having a good season in the junior grades as well. A lot of talent coming through there.
Yeah, there is a lot of talent, and we've been strong for the last few years. We've won club championships for the last 3 or 4 years, and can't see why that's not going to happen again this year. We're just a very strong club.
And some good coaching talent down in those ranks as well. Steve Forshaw doing a good job, and you're telling me off air that he was being helped a little bit by Ufuk Talai as well.
Yeah, we're very fortunate to have Ufuk. Ufuk's son plays for our under-14 side, and occasionally comes down and does a little bit of coaching, not only for the under-14s, but we've utilised him for our first grade side. He's an excellent guy and obviously an excellent coach. And
some good experience for the young kids to draw on as well, and hopefully progress up into this first grade and hopefully a bit further.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the goal.
Here's Cole Bataldo in midfield. Bobolus looking for a runner, but he's not going to get one, and it's out of play. And coming up to half an hour gone on Bar TV in the PS4 MPL Canberra match is Canberra FC 0, Canberra Olympic 0. Not to say there hasn't been chances, a couple of good ones at either end. Keeping's been pretty good. Still waiting for that first goal, though, which will hopefully give the game that added spark. It's lacking something at the moment. The tempo's a little bit slow.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a little bit cagey, and both teams are just scared to make that mistake. And I think that if there is going to be a goal, it'll open up the game, I think.
Yeah, well, let's hope we get one or two before the evening's over. Both these sides not shy of goals, so it would be a surprise if it did end goalless. Here's Danning. The free kick's given for the foul on Kresic initially, though. A little shove in the back of the winger. Pavlak takes over the free kick duties and looks for Lamb, but he's overhit that one, and Calabria's going to win it comfortably. Habtemariam challenged by Verkic. Breaks for Cole Bataldo. His touch and strength is good, and he's nodded it forward towards Megic, but Mensah has it. Bit tight in there to be playing that ball, though, and Olympic are going to break with it, and an overhit pass again from Megic.
Yeah, it was a dangerous situation over there. They lose that ball and a better ball, and they would have been bearing in on goal.
And again, the long ball forward, but this time no one is in that channel, and it must be a tactic that they've worked on this week. It's not working for them at the moment, though, except for the one time they got Danning in the channel. Might be better off trying to keep it on the floor and playing him in behind the defence.
I think so. It's becoming a little bit predictable, really.
It's not something that's threatened Olympic too much, as Graham wins a battle with Tim Bobolus and gets a free kick out of it. No one really to aim for up front except for Danning there, and the movement is pretty poor. So he comes back and starts again. And that's an overhit ball, which Brunskill does well to turn forward, but Olympic snap in and win it back. But they can't keep hold of it either, and there's a chance perhaps for Brunskill to get something going, and Danning's touch lets him down on this occasion. Here's Habtemariam, and Kadnach looking for Dominici. Mensah comes across and his strength and challenge as well, and wins the free kick, and that's a great piece of defending by Michael Mensah.
Yeah, he's a very strong boy. Very strong boy.
Pretty encapsulates what he's all about, to be honest, doesn't it? Here's Brown. Looks for Lamb. His back heel is picked up by Calabria. Verkic comes sliding in, but Calabria gets past that challenge. Lamb's still tracking him, though. But still the fullback goes on. Good run this from Calabria, and again, Mensah reads it well, but there's a free kick being given, and this is a dangerous position. 4 or 5 metres outside the penalty area, but Habtemariam goes quickly, and Bruno Kell pulls him back. He won't let them be doing that. Perhaps a shooting opportunity here, Dean?
Oh, look, I suspect that Robbie will get over the ball and do something with it.
Yeah, he's got a bit of previous. That was the end he scored at in the FFA Cup qualifying final last week. It was from a more central position and a little bit closer to goal. This one is a fair distance away, but you wouldn't bet against Robbie Catnach having a go from here, or the other option would maybe a chip towards the far post, towards someone like Magic to knock it back across goal. We'll have a look, see what Robbie Catnach has up his sleeve. Sam Brown lines up his wall right on the edge of the penalty area, so fair distance out, but Catnach is capable. He swings it in low this time, and it was a left leg of Ian Graham that got rid of it. It's fallen for Nick Bobolas, who gets away from Gianpaolo and wins the throw-in. Different type of free kick there from Catnach, but we'll have a look at that, talk about that in a second, as Bobolas is in the area. It's chipped into the area from Magic, but he's got that one wrong, and it's out for a goal kick.
Yeah, well, I would have thought that he would have tried to have a strike on a goal, but he decided to put one in low.
Good anticipation from Ian Graham, though, just to stick the left leg out and make sure that none of the advancing Olympic players got a telling touch.
Yeah. For me, it's a little bit of a concern for Canberra FC. They seem that their back three are being pulled apart, sort of apart, certainly stretched a little bit. And, if Olympic can put a nice ball into those little wide areas, I think they might get some joy.
Well, here's Yarnold. Danning putting him under a bit of pressure. And there's not much room to manoeuvre there between Yarnold and Calabria, but in the end they sorted out between them. Here's Habtemariam. Verkic goes sliding in, and Habtemariam just skips away from him and plays the ball out wide to Tim Bobolas. He's got McLaughlin on the overlap, which he uses. Opportunity perhaps to get it into the penalty area, but it's a weak cross, and Brunskill tidies up and concedes a throw-in. Crossing's been letting both sides down a little bit.
Yeah, there's a little bit of lack of quality at the moment. I don't know what it is, but if they can certainly put in a little bit more quality ball into the penalty area, I think they might get some joy. Both teams, that is.
Absolutely. We've got around about 10 minutes to half-time, so still plenty of time for both teams to register. Here's a chance for Dominici on the edge area, rides the challenge, shoots, and it's deflected into the arms of Sam Brown, and all the pace was taken off it, and Brown is looking to get Lamb away as quick as he possibly can on this near side. Here's Verkic. Switch of play again. And he's brought down by Kresic, and he finds Gianpaolo, who's operating very deep. And he's lost that, and here's Catnach. Bit of space for him to move into. But he's overrun the ball again to Ian Graham. And here's Lamb, back where we started a moment ago. Waters. Now there's a chance perhaps for Pavlak to bring it forward and look for a red shirt as Danning goes into the box. But Pavlak cuts back. Finds Waters again, who left-footed, will swing it in. Chance for Danning, but the flag's up. And offside is the call. But a nice move again from Canberra FC. But once he got into that final third, there was a lack of options because Gianpaolo seemed to be so deep.
Yeah, well, look, actually Canberra FC are getting quite a lot of joy when they're actually switching the ball very quickly from right to left. It's or they knock that long one and like I said, right to left, and you can see that Pavlak in that instance over there, the young Walter's got a touch on the ball and Pavlak overlapping. They seem to be getting a little bit of joy doing that, but again, it's just that quality in that last third that's letting them down.
The ball's sent forward, and Mensah's going to control that. It was a push by Catnach, and Verkic gives him a shove back. Doesn't really need to be getting involved in that. We just heard there that Monero Panthers have equalised at Nijong. It's Kuma 1, Monero 1. Bit of a surprise there.
Yeah, that is actually.
So we'll see what happens towards the end of the day in that one. Woden still lead 2-0 at Gungahlin. Here's Magic. Gianpaolo. And here's Waters. Nice little turn from Waters to find some room. Now Graham up onto the halfway. His ball forward, though, is easily cut out, and it's going to break for Hampton Merriam and Dominici. Now the chance, perhaps, for Olympic. Again, they can't get the ball down. Kadnach does, and flicks it wide to Hampton Merriam, but he's got away from Verkic into the area. Danger signs here, but he's sliced the ball away from him. But referee Bruno Kales pulled it back for the challenge from Verkic. It was a bit of a lunge in. Let the advantage go, and nothing came of it, so it's a good call. And a free kick, a similar position to the one Kadnach had a few moments ago, but 5 or 6 metres closer, so that will make a bit of a difference, Dean.
Oh, I think they'll have a strike on a goal on this occasion, Russ.
And Tommy McLaughlin, we spoke about before, he's certainly capable from this range as well, but with Dominici and Kadnach around there, it's going to be a bit difficult for him to lay his claim to this one.
I think so.
But all three of those boys around the ball are capable of striking this one. Bruno Cal just having a word with Marko Verkic. He's had a couple of challenges where he's lunged in a little bit lately, and last warning probably from the referee.
Well, it looks like Canberra FC have learnt their lesson, and they're standing much closer to the ball than they did last in their semi-final in the FFA Cup, Russ.
Yeah, they're certainly not letting him take anything quick today. That game was won 3-1 by Olympic, and Kadnach took a really sharply taken free kick, and when the keeper wasn't looking, and just rolled it in the corner pretty much. It was a decent finish and put them on the way to the final.
I think that was the turning point of the game, I understand.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's see what he's got again here. As I mentioned, he did put one in from the edge of the area on the weekend. Here's Kadnach up to it, strikes it again. It's a low one again, and it's into the wall. And it's fair to say he's not having his greatest afternoon at the moment, Robbie Kadnach, is he? Some of the touches have been a little bit loose.
No, Robbie would be disappointed with that effort, I suspect.
Well, Olympic's still on the attack. Here's Dominici out towards Colbertaldo. Now, he can hit them, and he does strike it. It's deflected, and the pace again has come off it. And Brown's having to get out there towards McLaughlin, and the keeper does exceptionally well there, Sam Brown, to get there ahead of Tommy McLaughlin and bravely dive at his feet. As Olympic look to turn the screw. 6 minutes to half-time, still 0-0.
There's that diagonal.
And Lamb calls for it and gets it, and chance perhaps to put Danning in behind, but he was trucked well by Hampton Merriam on that occasion. Here's Verkic. And Waters. Now Lamb. Oh, goes past Magic with ease, does Lamb, and there's a chance out wide now for Danning, but the flag's up again. And that's frustrating for Canberra FC, because on that occasion there was 4 red shirts in the box too.
Yeah, I think Kofi would be disappointed with that.
Just went a tad too early.
Yeah.
But once again, Canberra Olympic back four, very solid. Know what each other's doing, very much trusting each other that they'll get it right. Here's Calabria. Now Yarnold. Good ball forward, and Kadnach has space. The runner in the channel is Dominici. He's not going to get that, and it's caught between the two of them, really. Tim Bubbles on the overlap, and Dominici through there, and in the end it's come to nothing. Going to be a goal kick. As the sun goes down and the temperature plummets a little bit more and the wind starts to pick up. Lovely afternoon, Dean.
Lovely afternoon in Canberra.
Pretty cool conditions. Magic wins a header well. He's going to get a second bite at it, though, as Graham has possession, and he loses it to Kadnach. Now McLaughlin. And Magic, right-footed, sweeps it to this near side. And that's a good ball for Hampton Merriam. Now, chance perhaps for him to take on his marker. Dances around with it for a bit and finds Calabria. Good ball into the area, but Mensah reads it. And sends it forward looking for Gianpaolo, but he's 1 against 4 here, so it'd have to be something incredibly good from Dominic Gianpaolo on that occasion. And Nick Bobolas easily wins the ball. Very isolated there was Gianpaolo.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Just isolated. Mensah clears his lines, and they're really only Dom there. They need some connection there.
There's Magic. In fact, there's a free kick been given. Magic will take it to Colbertaldo. McLaughlin. Brunskill wins it. A loose play again, and here's Danning. Chance perhaps to run. His ball is under hit though, and Gianpaolo is going to not get anywhere near that one. And you can see from the body language of some of these players, they're very frustrated at the moment. Neither side being able to string together too much, which is fairly odd considering the quality that we've got out there. Here's Magic. He's going to look for a raking ball forward again. And Verkic easily cuts it out. Now here's Lamb. Danning. Yarnell tight. Cadenach gets a toe in, and Calabria does well to find Cole Bataldo, who clips the ball over the top. And here's Habtemariam. Will do well to keep that in there as it runs away on the surface here at Deakin Stadium. A couple of minutes to half-time, Dean, and what's been your take on it overall?
Yeah, it's been interesting. It's been sort of an arm wrestle. Just when you think that Olympic had the ascendancy early on, Deakin took it off them, and it's probably sort of swung back to Olympic a little bit. It's a little cagey at the moment.
Yeah, we mentioned it a couple of times. It does need a goal, though, you think, as Brown creates a challenge between Calabria and Lamb. It's broken for Magic. Now Cole Bataldo. Calabria again. Now Yarnold. Another long ball forward. Flicked on by Magic, and it's going to go straight through to Brown. I'm very surprised that these tactics from both teams are playing the long ball. We didn't expect that before kickoff, really, did we?
No, you'd like to think that with the quality of both teams, that they would like to play through through their lines. They're obviously trying to see whether they can expose either side of the in behind that last line.
Well, here's Graham, and now Lamb has it. Loose pass by him, and Habtemariam picks it up, and loose pass by him as well, as Graham sweeps it to the far side, and it's brought down on the chest by Kresic, and a chance to bring the run forward from Kresic into the area. Here's Danning. Got there first. Space for Lamb on this near side. Can he get it onto his right foot to get a shot away? He can, but it's always the angle was against him on that occasion, and leaning away, it's harmless and wide from goal. It's almost as if, Dean, that both sides have looked at the opposition and gone, well, we don't rate them defensively with pace there, and trying to drop the ball in behind, but it's not worked either way.
No. It is interesting that when Deakin do switch from right to left, they get a little bit of penetration. They get in behind. And maybe they should utilise some of those tactics a little bit more.
The final seconds of the first half. Can't imagine there'd be too much time added on, as McLaughlin tries to help it on its way. Kresic found Danning. Here's Brunskill. Danning again. And Gianpaolo. Calabria's read it and picks it up easily. Now Habtemariam. Calabria. Habtemariam wants more from Magic, and a chance for Calabria to get forward, and Mensah shows his strength and just holds off Calabria, who's trying to bump him off the ball, but you're not going to win that battle with Michael Mensah.
No, not many people will, I don't think.
Strong central defensive effort from Michael Mensah in this first half as we're in stoppage time. Played about a minute of it, and there won't be too much more than that. Sam Brown lining up the goal kick. Both sides have had their chances in this first half. Opportunities at both ends. Dominici and Catenacci having chances for Canberra Olympic, and Angelo Constantinou making a smart save from Nico Kresic, and a plunging save to catch a ball from Dominic Gianpaolo shot. But Dean, at half-time, tempo's been a bit slow. It's not really had that spark, has it?
No, it's been sort of almost on, I don't know. It just needs an injection of something, and it just seems like both teams are just playing not to lose.
There's plenty of options on the bench that we talked about before, and we'll obviously talk about that in the second half as well. But at half-time here on Bar TV at Deakin Stadium, we're going to go off and try and warm up a little bit. It's Canberra FC 0, Canberra Olympic 0. Welcome back to Deakin Stadium on Bar TV for the PS4 NPL Canberra match between Canberra FC and Canberra Olympic. It's 0-0 at half-time. Just looking around to see if there's any changes on either side. Doesn't look like it, so Canberra FC will line up as it did in the first half. Brown in goal, Mensah, Verkic and Pavlak, the back three. Lamb, Graham, Brunskill, Kresic. In the midfield, 4 Waters just in front of them with Danning and Gianpaolo up front. Canberra Olympic with Constantinu in goal. The 2 Bobulus boys, Yarnold and Calabria in their back 4. Colbertado, Megic and Catanacci in midfield, McLaughlin, Dominici and Habtemariam up front. I'm Russ Gibbs, your commentator, and we're here with Dean Ugrinic, head coach of Belconnen United. And Dean, we're hoping for a little bit more spark in this second half.
Yeah, look, I hope that, maybe the respective coaches have given, some of the more expressive players a bit of a licence to, go out there and attack.
As Graham sends an early long ball forward looking for Danning, and that was pretty much the tactic we saw in the first half. And doesn't look like there's going to be much change to that in the second half. We'll see. Hopefully, we'll look to see a bit more football through the middle of the park. Here's Pavlak sweeping it into the area. Brunskill has gone forward. It's going to break for Gianpaolo, who isn't shy of a shot and has the technique and ability to connect well from there, but on that occasion didn't quite catch it.
Yeah, Dom's a very talented player, and you'd like to think that he can expose some of that quality on this and leave a mark on this game.
As a goal kick comes away, and McLaughlin challenges with Kresic, and it's Kresic who wins it. Now Danning has it, and a chance perhaps to run at the defence. Here's Kofi Danning, Kresic on the overlap, and McCroth can bobble us to play it off of Kresic out for a goal kick. We had a look at the benches briefly in the first half, Dean, and looking at Olympic first off, Michael Reeve, Bernard Brenet, Josh Golevsky, Cal Smith. Plenty of talent on their bench to change things if needs be.
Yeah, absolutely. Certainly in attack.
Is Mensah. Now Waters. Brunskill. And Lamb out wide. Gianpaolo has it. Looking to take on his man, Dominic Gianpaolo. But that's good defending again by Olympic. In the way they come with the ball, here's Habtemariam.
And I think that's what, certainly Dom needs to do a little bit more of. Start taking on his immediate opponent and try and create something. Yeah,
he's definitely got the skill to do so, hasn't he? And he's been known as a goal scorer.
Oh, definitely, and so if he can do that, if he can take a player on and beat that particular player, then you can start creating those 2v1s into the opposition penalty area.
Here's Catanacci. Shadowed by 2 Olympic players. Pavlak's one of them, and he gets a touch on the ball, so it'll be a throw-in. Tim Bobulus looked to go early, but Tom McLaughlin wasn't awake to that one, so it's back with Megic. Ian Graham sharply in, and then pulls down Megic and is going to concede the free kick. And a little bit of afters there between Megic and Graham, and pretty uncalled for, really. 2 fiery characters, though, Dean.
Well, I think you've got Nathan. It was a centre-back's touch, to be honest with you, and he defended it like a centre-back would.
As Catanacci takes his free kick, he drills this one in the low again, and it's cleared. Colbertaldo heads it into the air, and Brunskill and Habtemariam are challenging, and it's broken for Lamb, who gets quite fortunate. It's back with Verkic. He sends it forward, and it's straight back again. Now Habtemariam, perhaps he can put his foot on the ball. Megic, challenged well by Waters, breaks for McLaughlin, comes off his knees. And Olympic looking to start the second half on the front foot. Here's Catanacci. Again, they're in sharply on Robbie Catanacci. No time for him to get his foot on the ball. Now Danning has it, and he's got pace, as we know, and his first touch is good. He'll take on Bobulus. Danning up towards the edge of the area. Here's Gianpaolo, looking to drop the shoulder and perhaps create the shooting opportunity, but Colbertaldo's read that and does exceptionally well to bring the ball away and find Robbie Catanacci, but Pavlak nips in ahead of him.
Yeah, Robbie is not probably working at and doing things at his usual standard.
Well, here's Kresic. And Gianpaolo for Kresic in the air. What a run this is. Great save. Constantinu Brunskill's in there too. But they can't get in on target, and Olympics survive. Lovely 1-2 there between Kresic and Gianpaolo, and a good chance for the youngster, and Constantinu, big frame, saves well.
An excellent chance, and I think young Kresic will rue missing that opportunity because they've been far and few between.
similar to the one that Waters had in the first half, but he couldn't quite. At least Kresic got it under his feet this time and got the shot away, but the power lacking and imposing goalkeeper Angelo Constantinou when he comes out in that kind of area.
Oh, absolutely. He's been doing it for a number of years, Russ.
Yeah, it's certainly experienced enough. As Waters wins the header, but it's fallen for Dominici. Now here's Katnach, who takes his touch away. Now Robbie Katnach is away on goal here. Mensah's chasing him back. Katnach into the area. Mensah does well to hold him up, but Katnach swings it in towards Dominici, and defensively, Canberra FC do very well there. And credit to Michael Mensah for getting back, and also to Matthew Waters for helping out and clearing their lines there. But for a moment there, it opened up for Robbie Katnach, and it looked like it could be the moment.
Yeah, Mensah's done exceptionally well there, and it just shows the quality of a defender.
He stood him up and waited and got back quickly. Robbie Katnach just didn't have the pace to get away like he may have a few years ago. Here's Colbertaldo, and that looks like it could be offside, and it is. But the referee will let it go as Brown came to collect. Now Lamb. Gianpaolo. A lot of space on this near side for Kresic. Nobody tracking him back. Tim Bolas has to come across, and Kresic has created a chip into the area, but that's going to float to Angelo Constantinou on the breeze. Just one of those occasions, I think, Dean, when Robbie's away there, you'd think, well, if that's Dominici, maybe he's got the pace to get clear.
Yeah, well, like we mentioned, I think Michael's done exceptionally well to recover in that situation. He still had a lot of work. He made a beeline straight for goal and towards his goal line there, and defended it exceptionally well.
Yeah, great piece of defending. Here's McLaughlin. Kresic takes it off his toe and wins the free kick. Seems to be a lot of space for Nico Kresic in the start of the second half here on this near side.
Yeah, I'd like to see Nico maybe take a touch and be a little bit calmer and maybe take his opponent on rather than just giving the ball away a little bit earlier.
So Pavlak's lining up this free kick. 4 red shirts in and around the penalty area to aim for, and he swings that up towards there, but Constantinou's coming for this and tries to punch it and succeeds only, I think, in punching his own player in the face. Nick Bobolas caught a handful of Angelo Constantinou's fist there, I think, and a bit of a pat on the back, but it's good defending from the central defender to put himself in that position, but that would have hurt.
Well, I think goalkeepers are instructed to get their fists onto the ball and basically wipe out anyone in front of them.
And then he did just that then, and Nick Bobolas bore the brunt of it, but defensively they were sound. 2 other games this afternoon in the PS4 MPL Canberra. Kuma Tigers 1, Monero Panthers 1 down in Nijong there, and at Gungala, and it's Gungala United 0, Woden Western 2 still. So both matches, you'd say, were a bit of a surprise results at the moment.
Yeah, at the moment.
Plenty of time for things to change, and still here at Deakin Stadium it's 0-0. Here's Yarnold from Dominici again. Here's Habtemariam, and he's fouled. And Bruno Kell's going to have another word with Marko Verkic. He had a word with him a couple of times in the first half, and this is probably a yellow card. He gave him a final warning, I think, in the first half, didn't he, as well? So that one was probably coming.
Come to the end of his tether, it sounds like. And
yeah, can't see.
Young Marco's never shy of a word.
Yeah, the young defender was warned a couple of times in the first half. So first player to see a yellow this afternoon, which is perhaps somewhat of a surprise. These games, as we mentioned before, are usually played with far more fire and passion. This one seems to be fairly tepid by Olympic Canberra FC standards. Here's Bobolas on the overlap. Oh, great dummy to get into the penalty area. Pulls it back, but the defence is solid again, and it will be a corner.
Yeah, Josh Calabria's got in behind that last line and just unfortunately couldn't pick out anyone in the penalty area.
Yes, my apologies. It was Calabria on that left-hand side. Great dummy to drop the shoulder, didn't he, to get past his man.
And that's what it needs, a little piece of skill just to beat your immediate opponent.
Well, McLaughlin lines up the corner. On the far post coming in was Nick Bobolas. Misses his kick. Gets it back. 2 players sniping around him this time, though. And he throws himself at the ball in a rather agricultural fashion and somehow gets away with it.
Yeah,
interesting piece of defending.
Yeah, it was an interesting piece of defending, and I think they might have got that one wrong, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it could quite possibly have been a corner. But fair play. He put his body in the way and just threw himself at it.
Look, I think he's actually played really well.
Yeah, one of the best on the park at the moment, I think. Long ball forward. Could be handballed by Magic. But must have come off his chest. Challenged by Waters on Tim Bobolas will be a free kick. Dominici wants it early, but it's not going to come. And Frank Keisha tells him to calm it down a little bit. Nick Bobolas is the one who sends it forward, but only as far as Brunskill. Bit of a waste, that one. And Aidan Brunskill can perhaps get something going for Canberra FC, but Magic has read his intentions, and now his Kapnach. And Mensah goes back to Brown, who slices that one somewhat, but it's going to come to Kresic. Nice touch from the youngster, and he does well to get away from Tim Bobolas there, and should win himself a free kick. And well played from the young winger. Yeah,
I think he's a real quality player, underrated player, and like I said, even that was an example of the skill that he has. And if he can get the ball in deeper in that front third for Deakin, I think that he can pose some real problems for Olympic.
With Gianpaolo, Calabria's read that one. Dominici, Colbertaldo. It's a loose one from Colbertaldo, and that's a high boot from Magic. And a free kick and a yellow card for Nathan Magic as well. Literally 10 seconds after the referee told him that he would probably go in the book for the next one, he does.
Yeah, another central defender's challenge.
So it's 2 yellow cards. No goals. 10 minutes into the second half here on Bar TV. Canberra FC 0, Canberra Olympic 0.
I'm sensed that the tempo has picked up a little bit in this early in the second half, Russ.
There seems to be a bit more to it, both sides knowing that points here are crucial. Kresic heads it goalwards. It's cleared back to the youngster. McLaughlin shadowing him, so it'll be a throw. Danning's got goal side here. Good experience from Kofi Danning, but Tim Bobolas comes back, and he's going to get a free kick for a little shirt pull. Of course, Dean, if Olympic win today, they go back top of the table. If Canberra FC win, they're right back in the mix. Only 2 points off the leaders if they win this afternoon.
There's a lot to play for today. Obviously, I'd like a draw. But yeah, there's a lot to play for. And maybe that's the reason why the game is and the way that it's being played.
Gianpaolo into the area. Mensah comes in on the far post, but he can't quite get a head on it, and it's deflected for a corner. Dean Ugrinnick with me in the commentary box here. Head coach of Belconnen United firmly had his Belconnen hat on just then. Good win for them last night, if you hadn't heard. 6-0 over Riverina Rhinos. Puts them back in the fourth. And with Gungahlin losing today at the moment, 2-0 to Woden Western, that's a position they will keep heading into the next round.
Yeah, go Woden.
Love a bit of unbiased stuff in the commentary box. Could do with some goals here. It's still 0-0. As Waters sends this corner deep, and the header from Mensah is harmless enough.
Yeah, I'm not sure a ball like that is going to really pose too many problems for Olympic. A flatter, sort of more direct ball that someone like a Michael Mensah might utilise would be probably a better option for Deakin, for Canberra FC.
Dean, looking at the Canberra FC bench, 10 minutes into the second half, you're looking for a goal threat or someone to change the game. You've got James Field, Kai Edwards, Thomas Milicevic and Daniel Subasic, so no out-and-out recognised striker amongst that lot, but some young talent and some players that might be able to make a difference if they came on.
Definitely. Certainly someone like a James Field who might be able to play a clever ball in behind that last line. So someone like him might be able to offer something for Deakin that they've not gotten on the field at the moment. Yeah, something maybe to open up that defence and allow Danning to run the channels, or Gianpaolo to get in as well. Yeah. Here's a ball forward looking for Dominici, and Mensah's just about got that right with the right football back to Brown. He's a confident goalkeeper. He doesn't take a touch. He just wants to get rid of it as soon as he can. Confidence in his own ability. Yeah, I'd like to see him take a touch and maybe to keep the ball. Habtemariam finds Dominici. Chance on the edge of the area. He turns well. Dominici going to break for Calabria. Clips it to the 4 post. In a chance for Katnach. Back across goal. And Mensah acrobatically just hooks it away. And it's broken for Colbertaldo. Mensah's been everywhere, hasn't he, Russ? He certainly has, as Tim Bobolas sends that back. And again he heads it down to McLaughlin towards Habtemariam. Here's a chance in the area, but Pavlak is back, and Brown couldn't pick that one up, and he scoops it away from under his feet. There was danger there for a second, and Canberra Olympic just showing that they've got a lot of quality when they go forward, and created that opening, and Robbie Cadnach not quite catching it as well as he would have liked. Yeah, no, that's exactly right. I think he'd be disappointed with that little effort. But again, Mensah has just been solid back there for Deakin. Improvised well to get rid of it.
with a
absolutely.
scissor kick in his own area. Here's Catnach. And he concedes the foul. They've been pretty sharp on Robbie Catnach today. They've done their homework, of course, and they know him pretty well.
I think you need to be. Robbie's just got that ability. He might not be in the game for long periods of the game, and then all of a sudden he just does something that creates a chance or scores a goal.
Yeah, he's not been at his best today. Obviously, you've got to remember as well, for those people who don't usually tune into Canberra football, that these guys are all amateurs. They've all got jobs. They maybe he's had a shift last night or in his work, and not quite got his game going today.
No, and it's interesting. He's not playing all that well, and Olympic aren't playing all that well. Might coincide. Might be something there, Russ.
Yeah, it'd be a brave man to take him off, though. And as you say, he's got the ability to change a game in that split second.
Oh, absolutely.
So here's Arnold towards Catnach. So there is that turn, and Mensah gets a foot in again. It's broken for Waters. Now he's got Lamb outside him. A bit of momentum for Canberra FC in this attack as Lamb finds Gianpaolo and looks for the return. Colbertaldo's back with him now. Lamb was with the challenge, but Colbertaldo does well, claiming he's got a push in the back there. Possibly had a case, but as it is, it's a Canberra FC corner.
Great work by Colbertaldo over there. Josh Calabria has been pulled out of the line, and young Daniel slotted in at left back and did a job for his team. Very underrated player.
So Gianpaolo with the latest Canberra FC corner. They've left two back, but everyone else is in the air. There's a flatter delivery that time, which Dean mentioned earlier, but it's still dealt with by that Olympic defence. Danning has it from Mensah, facing the wrong way from goal as far as FC are concerned. Back to Mensah. And all the way back to Kresic, who sends the ball out wide, and Gianpaolo thought about going for it and didn't, and Jordan Lamb didn't either, and there's a little bit of a mix-up in communication there. And it's Olympic who will bring it away. The flag was up for offside. Played just past the hour at Deakin Stadium. Canberra Olympic 0, Canberra FC 0. Second v third in the PS4 MPL. Here's Tim Bobolas. McLaughlin, Bobolas again. And Magic, better football this time from Olympic. One touch stuff, and Colbertaldo finds Habtemariam. Now he's got space in which to work. He's got Dominici inside him as well. Habtemariam taking on his man, and across defensively is Pavlak, who does brilliantly just to take it off his toe. Not once, but twice. But Habtemariam won't let him settle and keep pressing the defender. And there's two over there now, and it's going to break for Dominici, who's back there helping out. Here he is again. Chance perhaps to shoot for Dominici, running across goal. Still won't open up for him, but Tim Bobolas has come into the attack and put it in, and McLaughlin went in under the challenge from Mensah, but it's been cleared as the sun beats down on Deakin Stadium, and Danning stretches his legs on the counter-attack. He's got Gianpaolo making the run forward. Now there's space for Dominic Gianpaolo as he enters the penalty area. As he got someone to pull the ball back to, the only option was Lamb coming in, and it was comfortably dealt with by Canberra Olympic with good pace on the break.
Yeah, and I think Deakin look exceptional when they do break quickly like that, and nothing better in Canberra football than Kofi Danning striding out.
He's certainly got the pace to do so. They're going to make a change in a minute. Daniel Subasic is going to come on shortly after this corner. Dom Gianpaolo once again entrusted with the dead ball duties. And this time it bounces into the penalty. It wasn't a great corner, but it still won't be cleared. Bounced around a fair bit, and in the end, Dominici just gets rid of it up to Catnach. Pavlak's tight to him. But he still tried to find a ball, and Kresic read it. Now Brunskill back to Kresic again. Here's Danning. Verkic, he tries his luck from range, but that was always going wide of goal. And the first substitution of the afternoon will take place in the 65th minute, and it's Aidan Brunskill who's coming off. A decent shift from Brunskill in the middle of the park there this afternoon, Dean.
Yeah, he's done a very good job under trying conditions. Just unable to settle and get some quality possession in that midfield. But yeah, he'd be happy and pleased with his efforts this afternoon.
Subasic, a youngster with plenty of potential as well. Opportunity for him to show what he's got this afternoon.
Yeah, he's been playing first-team football this year for Deakin. He's been playing pretty well.
We'll see what he's got. Here's Gianpaolo. Waters was chasing that. It's just sent aimlessly up the field, really, and it's picked up by Pavlak. Kresic. Waters. Now Graham. Tried to dink it forward, but it was easily intercepted, and it's a hurried clearance from Nick Bobolis, and not the best one, but Katnach is going to be able to bring it under control, but he can only find Kresic now. Here's Gianpaolo, and Kresic again, and Canberra FC seem to be growing in confidence a little bit here. Here's Kresic taking on his man into the area. It's up towards the edge of the box, and Subasic the substitute, but he's lost possession, and Habtemarian could perhaps bring it away from Olympic. And he's fouled unceremoniously by Verkic, who's already on a card, remember?
Everything that's good about Canberra FC has really come on this left-hand flank, and it's young Kresic that's really causing Canberra Olympic a lot of problems. What was interesting just earlier on there, Russ, was that when Olympic did play through, get a little bit of possession through their midfield, as we've got a potential attack here.
Yeah, Dominici's under pressure from Mensa, yeah.
Yeah, that they did create an opportunity, and it was just an unfortunate poor touch by Jeremy that didn't allow him to get into a decent position there to create something more dangerous.
Well, whilst that's causing problems for the Olympic defence, this sun's causing problems for us. It's going down behind the houses to our right, and it's casting the shadows across the fields, making it a bit difficult to see what's going on over on that far side. Habtemariam's in the area. Here's Katnach, quick feet to get it out from there, but Pavlak takes it away from him, and Lamb can complete the clearance. But Cole Bataldo again is snapping around at his heels and wins the ball back for Canberra Olympic. Here's Yarnold. Nicely done by Phil Yarnold. Now Cole Bataldo with a bit of room to manoeuvre.
He's a tidy footballer now, young Daniel, a complete footballer. And what's interesting is that Stephen Dominici beats his player one-on-one and creates an opportunity for Olympic.
Here's Tim Bobolis. Need more of that, I think, before the afternoon ends.
I think the ball needs. I think Stephen Dominici needs to take this game by the scruff of the neck. If he can get it and do exactly that, take his immediate opponent one-on-one and create 2v1s in and around the box. They've got a, they can create some opportunities.
We're at the stage now where you think a spark of magic or an error could decide the game. Here's Michael Reeve, who's come on for Olympic. Thrown forward, and his Magic's got him behind here. There's a chance for Canberra Olympic. If he pushes this across, and Mensa's run it quite well and just clipped it away. Once again, some great defensive work by Mensa. Here's Graham.
Look, I think Nathan will be disappointed with that ball. It's just important to be picking your teammate out when you get into those particular areas. The game's starting to get stretched here.
Here's Katnach. Well, Reeves an interesting substitute as well. He's got a lot of ability going forward as well. Another former Belconnen boy is Michael Reeve.
There's about 15 of them out here, Russ.
A good challenge one there, and here's Dominici slips at an inopportune time. Now here's Waters.
The game has opened up, Russ, and we're hoping that we get an exciting last 25 minutes.
Well, let's hope so. Dominici helps out round the corner, and now space for Reeve to run into. Dominici's in the middle with Habtemariam. Here's Reeve again, but he's picked the wrong option on that occasion, and defensively Canberra FC do well, but they've made a bit of a mess of it, and they've given away a corner.
Yeah, I think Frank would be pretty disappointed with a couple of options that these boys have taken in those, particularly when they've got him behind that last line, Russ, and really looking to cut. They should be looking to cut the ball back to one of their own teammates.
We'll see what they can do with this corner. On this near side, which Michael Reeve will take. Looking to see what he can do with this. It's a decent delivery, it looks like. It's come towards the back post where Megic is challenged by two FC players. It breaks for Nick Bobolis, who beats one challenge, but then the ball is just thrashed clear. And even though the sun is beating down on the stadium, it's still pretty cold for the decent crowd that have turned up to watch this one.
They need a goal, Russ.
They do, to cheer them up and get a bit of warmth going on. Canberra Olympic looking for that goal, but Verkic helps the clearance. Now here's a chance. Perhaps Dominic Gianpaolo. It is 4 against 3, though, in favour of Olympic. He has to slow it down and looks for the pass for Subasic, but Habtemariam easily reads it. And Megic has space. Here's Reeve.
Yeah, it's a real pity. You could see that Kofi was just trying to wait for that ball to be played. There we go. We got him behind again.
Tim Bobolas on the wing. Ball into the air, though, is deflected. And between Mensah and Brown, it's cleared. And it's another corner. Reeves done well since he's come on, creating some opportunities with that precise passing.
Yeah, look, they're getting a little bit of joy down this left-hand flank of Deacons. Again, but it's just a lack of quality with the with any cutbacks, you know.
Yeah, that final ball hasn't been good from either side really this afternoon. As we said, there's still plenty of time for that to change, though. 20 minutes plus stoppage time. Michael Reeve with another corner. Right in front of the Olympic fans gathered in this half of the grandstand. He swings that one in. Up goes Magic and Bobolas, and it's going to break for Verkic. Calabria nips in and wins it. Can he deliver? It's a good ball in, but Brown has got that one covered all the way.
Quite dangerous on set pieces, Canberra Olympic.
It's a big one to try and hit. That's a long clearance from Brown, and fortunately for Kofi Downing, that's come right out of the sun. I don't think he's been able to pick that one out. The right idea, though, and another change for Olympic, for FC rather, with 90 minutes to go. We're going to see James Field enter the field of play for Marko Verkic. Interesting, that will change the shape a little bit.
I like this change, Russ. I think James Field adds a little bit to them in attack, and I think he's got the ability to slip a ball in behind that last line, play a good pass.
Does that change the shape, you'd think? Will that precipitate maybe Lamb playing a bit deeper?
Potentially. I'm just trying to have a look and see how they've reorganised themselves.
It's Graham outside of the foot. That's come off the back of field. Not the first touch he would have wanted. Fell straight to Habtemariam. Now Calabria. Good run from Reeve, and he's got away from his man, but Lentz has come across, as he has all afternoon, to defend pretty well.
It looks like Subasic has gone into the centre between Mensah and Pavlak.
Well, this Habtemariam looking for a 1-2 with Dominici, but it's not worked. And Graham has it. Field to Graham. And he's swung it to this near side. Can he keep it in play? The run from Kresic. He did via the boot of Bobolas and a little 1-2 with Waters, looking for Danning. And the Canberra Olympic was scrambling in defence there for a little bit, but they've got back and defended it quite well in the end. Yeah,
I'd like to see Canberra FC go down this left-hand flank more. I really think that's where they're going to be able to pose some real problems for Canberra Olympic.
Here's Waters. Back to Pavlak. Looking for the run of Kresic. It's a decent touch, but it's overhit again, as has been the case for most of the afternoon. Here's Habtemariam. Shown the outside and went to take it, but good defensive work from Matthew Waters.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the lucky cake draw.
Long throw forward from Magic, and now maybe Dominici can get in for the first time. And Mensah's with him. And Mensah does brilliantly once again, and been absolutely outstanding this afternoon. But he dawdles on it a little bit, and Dominici snapping back, trying to get it, and Mensah shows his strength. Perhaps dawdled on it a bit there, but did well.
He's been a big difference for Canberra FC.
It's certainly been good, and they've given the ball away again, Canberra FC, and Olympic haven't been able to capitalise. Here's Calabria. Tries to take it down, but Danning's read it and still keeps possession. Now there's a chance on the overlap for Lamb to come forward. A couple of players to aim at in the penalty area. Still goes Lamb, but in the end he's overcooked that one by some distance.
It's been the story of the afternoon, hasn't it, Russ? Just that lack of quality, that final ball, as you say. It's, just delivery into the box just hasn't been there.
It's not been without its moments, has it, as a game, but largely disappointing for the people that have watched it. Expecting a little bit more quality.
No, definitely. The second half is certainly the tempo has picked up and the game has become a little bit more stretched. But again, it's those options in that last third or in the final third have just been poor.
Yeah, it's not quite lived up to the hype that we were hoping for, but still with 15 minutes to go, there's an opportunity for perhaps a goal to brighten up the afternoon. And as we mentioned, it would be a big goal for either team. A goal for Canberra C right now puts them back into the top four mix. They'll literally be a couple of points behind the league leaders, but Canberra Olympic will go back top with the game in hand should they win today. Haven't looked at the table for goal difference, Dean, but would a draw be okay for Olympic to go back top? We'll have to double check that one. Here's Dominici. Habtemariam looks to go across, and it's read well by Subasic. Now Lamb. Field. He's giving it away to Calabria. Now Habtemariam out wide. One-on-one with his man again. Looking for an option. The only one is Magic, who finds Colbertaldo. Good ball forward, Catanach. Tried the trick, didn't come off, but he's still got possession. Gets it back from Magic. Shooting chance for Catanach. Well blocked again by that man, Mensah. And it's going to break for Kofi Danning, who's going to have to do it all on his own.
Yeah, well, Canberra FC certainly look dangerous in these sort of situations when Kofi has got a little bit of open park to roam into. But as you say, there's no one to connect with.
Here's Waters. Gianpaolo back to Waters. So we're saying a draw would be enough for Olympic to go back on top on goal difference with that game in hand, we think so?
I think so, yeah.
Like I said, there's no league table in front of us at the moment, but we'll double check that later on. Here's Pavlak. And Graham. Switches play again. It's asking a lot for Jordan Lamb. He did well to hook it back into the danger area, but Olympic once again clear.
Yeah, Canberra FC want to be a bit careful here. If they lose the ball in this area here, you can just see that they might be prone to a counter-attack. You can see Dominici just sort of lurking.
Here's Danning. Beats his man. Good play from Kofi Danning into the area. Cleared by Calabria. Only as far as field. That's a Lamb. Good ball into the penalty. Graham comes in, but he can't quite get the connection that he was looking for, and he got a heavy knock as well. When he did so, it was good defending, good covering defence from Bubbles, and it's away for a goal kick. Just a couple of latest scores you may have heard there. Kuma leading Monero Panthers by 2-1, and Gangala 0, Woden Western 3. So that looks like the points for Woden Western.
That's a surprising result, that one.
Yeah, must be playing well up there.
Yeah, Woden had a good result against the Centre of Excellence a couple of weeks ago, so they've backed that up this afternoon, looks like.
Yeah, Tony Oliveira doing a good job there with Woden Western.
Yeah, definitely.
Here's Bobulus, finds Reeve. Looks to get away from his man and does so. Probably not how he imagined to do so, but it's still effective. And Reeve is going forward into the area. Now Catanach. Chance to perhaps turn, and he tried to roll the ball into the path of Habtemariam, but again it's picked off by Michael Mensah, who just strides imperiously forward. He's looking for an option. And he dawdles a little bit on the ball, and it's picked off his toes. And Magic finds Dominici to Habtemariam. Now Catanach. Habtemariam again. It's all a bit crowded in there, and SC do well to get rid of it. And Graham brings it forward to Gianpaolo. Clipped forward by Subasic.
Olympic look dangerous when they do combine in and around that penalty area through Catanach, Dominici and Reeves.
And here they go again with Reeve down the wing. And Mensah comes across and just takes it off his toe. Slides it down the line for Pavlak. Colbertaldo's all over him like a rash, and Dominici comes across. And Canberra FC keep the play. 12 minutes to go, plus stoppage time on Bar TV. PS4 MPL Capital Football. Canberra FC 0. Canberra Olympic 0. Still hopeful for a goal before the afternoon is out, but Bobulus wins that header. Here's Catanach to Dominici. Both of these are capable, of course, and Dominici looking for the return, and there's a chance here. Stephen Dominici in the area, may have shot, comes back on his right foot and kind of gets himself twisted in knots. Didn't fancy the left foot effort.
Yeah, he should have taken that one on his left, taken it early, and I think he would have had a decent opportunity to get a strike away.
And perhaps should have hit that one first time, but it's easy to say from up here.
Oh, yeah, we're experts up here, aren't we,
Absolutely. I've never missed one from up here. Yeah. Here's Reeve to Bobulus.
Yeah, mate.
And Habtemariam, but Pavlak's done well, and Reeve wins it back off him, though. The firm challenge. Now, can he get this ball into the area? He can't, because Pavlak's recovered well and concedes the corner.
Certainly getting a little bit of joy down this left-hand side.
He's getting a little bit. Certainly giving them some added width and decent futsal pedigree. Michael Reeve as well. I think he trained with the Futsal Roos squad last year, just prior to the World Cup, and you can see it in his balance and his skill and good touch and technique. So what he can deliver from the corner. He's pulled this one back short, and Bobulus went in. He's going to get a second opportunity though as he wins it back off Waters. Colbertaldo now space for Bobulus to take a touch and cross. It's a good ball in as well, and a clear header for Josh Calabria coming in. He's connected with it. He connected with it well, but couldn't direct it downwards and cause any problems for Brown. But a good chance, that one.
Yeah, Olympic have got the ascendancy at the moment, haven't they, Russ? It all seems to be coming down Michael Reeves' side here on the right.
And I suppose the substitution with Reeve as well has tied Kresic up a little bit, meant he's had to track back a little bit as well, Dean, and he can't be as effective going forward.
Yeah, exactly right.
Let's see the substitution here. It's young Kai Edwards coming on for Dominic Gianpaolo, and Kadnac is being replaced as well by Josh Golewski.
Surprising move, that one.
Well, Golewski, we know, has a lot of quality. Kadnac's not had his best afternoon, but chance for the youngster. Maybe the heir apparent to that position, Dean, when Robbie decides to call it a day.
I think Robbie's got still a few more years to go, I think.
One of those players who's been around the scene in Canberra and beyond as well for a number of years. Had a spell in the New South Wales Premier League as well, didn't he?
He's been an outstanding player, most outstanding player, along with Dustin Wells in the last 4 or 5 years. He's got that quality.
Yeah, and both really humble and nice guys as well, and really respected in the Canberra football scene and in the football community at large.
Absolutely, role models for any aspiring young players.
It was Calabria who had that chance, probably the clearest chance of the second half.
Yeah, he certainly got into a good position.
Not noted for his goal scoring, Josh Calabria.
Well, it was a good defender's clearance.
There's a ball in looking for Golewski, whose first touch is just to flick it on. Yeah, I think at the other end he would have been very happy with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Brown bowls that one out to Lamb, field. Sends it forward. But defensively, Arnold's got that one covered. Subasic is going to not let him rest on his laurels, though, and looks to gets a hefty challenge in, and the youngster's still riding that one, and he's going to get a free kick out of it. And Frank Keisha's not happy. Probably thinks that Yarnell should have dealt with that a little bit earlier. But an opportunity for Canberra FC to flood the box again, and if the quality is better, maybe they can get a chance on goal. Matthew Waters, as I mentioned in the lead up to the broadcast, is decent with his set piece and has got a good left-footed delivery, so see if he can do it this time. Comes up, swings it in nicely, and there's a couple of bodies on the far post, and Olympic head it clear well, and there's a head clash, and a nasty one too. That is a really nasty head clash, and a bit of worry at the moment. I think one of the players may have been, not sure who went in there with that header, but he's gone down. I think he was knocked out straight away. Straight away, it was a clash. I think was that Magic involved as well, Dean?
Yeah, it is. That's Nathan on his haunches,
and he got headed, I think, completely in the head by whichever FC player that is that's down. I can't quite see who it is from here.
I can't make it out either, Russ, but there's a little bit of concern there, that's for sure.
Yeah, fingers crossed the medical staff got on there pretty quickly to come and deal with it.
Yeah, credit to both teams there. They and the referee stopped the game immediately and made sure that attention came on for the injured player.
Yeah, we won't speculate on who it is at the moment because obviously we're not sure, but fingers crossed he's okay. It's a fairly decent thump of a header he got there. Magic obviously bore the brunt of it. He's up and moving now, which is a good one. There's a replay. Just looking at it once more again, the ball towards the far post. It could have been Waters in there, I think it is, maybe. He's been absolutely cleared out, so it's not Waters because he's up on his feet. Definitely a substitution coming on. But it was a nasty collision, Dean, not what we like to see, but thankfully Magic seems okay for Canberra Olympic, and let's hope that FC are going to be all right. The stretch is going to come on. This is going to add a few minutes, of course, to the end of the game as well. Probably not what was required in the game when the momentum was building nicely, Dean. A couple of chances at both ends, and it was building quite nicely in a nasty collision. But in general, the game itself has been pretty even.
Yeah, it has been an even contest. Again, I think the fact that there's a lot at stake has probably meant that players have been a little bit less adventurous, so to speak.
So elsewhere, as I mentioned before, Gungahlin United 0, Woden Western 3, and Kuma Tigers 2, Monero Panthers 1. In those two games that are taking place in this PS4 MPL Canberra this evening. think it might be young Jordan Lamb, is it, perhaps? It's being stretched off. Wasn't nice to see, but wish him well and hope he has a speedy recovery.
It's a nice little touch, Nathan Magic coming over and hoping that the injured player's okay.
Well, they're going to have to play the game, the final few minutes with 10 men. They've made their 3 substitutions, so that could make a difference.
It could be very interesting.
Yeah, if Kai Edwards, Daniel Subasic and James Field have all come on the field. Again, we're just trying to figure out who it is. It's not Lamb. I think it is Kai Edwards, in fact, who literally was been on the field 2 minutes before he got that head knock, the youngster.
So it's very unfortunate incident.
The one that substituted, he just came on in the 80th minute and hadn't seen him touch the ball just yet, and he's put himself in there to get the header, and very bravely to do so. And he's headed the back, I think, of Nathan Magic's head, and he's been stretched off. We'll try and get an update on him at some stage, and hopefully he's okay.
So it's Deakin, Canberra FC in familiar territory, being a man down for the last 10 minutes.
Well, Reeve looking to take advantage of it, perhaps. Here's Haptomariam. Now Magic, who's recovered well. Here's Tim Bobolis. Now Reeve again. And it's come off Magic, and it's fallen to Graham. Players having to warm themselves up again after that 3 or 4 minute break.
There's no one up front in that last line for Deakin.
Well, this is it. Deakin now, like you said, down to 10 men through no fault of their own. Brown looking for Kresic. Bobolis is going to win it. Here's Gillespie. Now Cole Bataldo. I'm sure Frank Casio won't be... this is not the way he'd like to win a game, playing against 10 men through an injury-enforced change like that, but, they'll take it if they can get a winner.
No one likes this situation when a player gets injured in that fashion. As you say, it's just the nature of the game.
Pavlak hooks that one away, and disappointing for the youngster as well, who gets the opportunity to show his worth in this kind of game. And
he's a quality young player, Ross. He's an up-and-coming at Deakin. I know that they've got a very high opinion of him.
Here's Dominici in the area. Reeve and Gillespie combining. Now Haptomariam. Nice feet from Haptomariam, but Danning's back making the challenge. Does well.
And he's working very hard for his team, isn't he?
Yeah, he has to. I think now he's going to be asked to track back and also be the lone front runner on the break if they do get the balls. Magic sends it forward to Tim Bobolis, who brings it down, sends it into the air straight at Sam Brown. Though we've got officially 3.5 minutes or so, or 2.5 minutes to go, plus a general amount of stoppage time. You'd expect a lot of it to be played in the Deakin's half now.
You can see that Deakin have dropped back, closed those lines, and bunkering in, Russ.
Here's Nick Bobolis to Tim Bobolis. Dominici's going in, but it's a good challenge by Subasic, and he'll bring it forward. Does well to hold possession up. There's no one ahead of him, of course, so Waters finds Danning. Wanted to use all of his experience, Kofi Danning, looking to get an exchange of passes with Waters going, but he'll win the throw.
He'll have to lead the side now in the line up the top there.
Yeah, I think they'll be relying on his experience a lot in these last few minutes as
absolutely.
Pavlak throws it in. Waters tries to get a touch, and Haptomarian's won it. Here's Magic. He's giving it away to Kresic. Now Danning. Does well, Kofi Danning, to find Field. Back to Subasic. Lamb. FC keeping possession as the clock ticks down. Mensah. Happy to go back to Sam Brown and start again. Can't really blame him at this stage. As Brown sends it forward, but he's giving it away, and a chance perhaps for Michael Reeve to run at the FC defence. Pavlak's read the situation well, though, and come across to challenge, but Reeves got round him and found Gillespie. Not shy of taking his man on either, Josh Gillespie, and does well to get away. Here's Dominici being crowded out by 2 FC defenders, and Ian Graham's going to complete the clearance, hacking it out upfield, but of course there's no red shirts there to find, and it's Olympic who'll bring it back again with Magic.
Young Josh has got nice feet, doesn't he? He can certainly take a player on and create all sorts of havoc.
Can those dancing feet find an opportunity, though, in the last couple of minutes to create what would be the match winner? Here's Michael Reeve. into towards the near post, but no one's anticipated that ball from Reeve, and Brown's happy to take control of the situation.
I think Deakin have settled. Canberra FC have settled for a point. Russ, the two wing backs have dropped in, and really there's not much in that front third.
Fields just sent it forward, looking for someone to make that run forward. Danning's manfully trying to get forward. He's run his socks off today. Here's Graham. A little bit loose from Ian Graham, but Subasic is going to pick it up. Now Field.
It's really nice to see James Field back on the field. Pardon the pun.
Showed some nice touches as well
Yeah.
since he's come on. His land, bit of space to run into, and he's got Danny inside him if he can find him. He pulls it back, and it's cleared in the end by Bobolis, and it's away for a corner. But there's an opportunity there. If Lamke got his head up, Danning was there for the cutback. Didn't quite see it.
Yeah, he needed to play that in behind that back four. Back in front of the back four instead of maybe locking it between the keeper and the back four.
Well, we're 30 seconds into stoppage time. Expect to have a fair few minutes of this. And the chance for FC down to 10 men after an injury to Kai Edwards. And they'd made all their substitutions into the area, and it's headed high into the sky, and it's going to break for Danning. Said he got the skill in this situation to create something. He might have got a free kick here, but Bruno Kel's running across to take a look. Bobolis is challenging him. He's got away from Bobolis, who's pulled his shirt and had a couple of swipes at him, and gets a free kick and an opportunity perhaps for FC to send some bodies forward.
Super play, that ability to be able to take 2 or 3 players on. It's just given them an opportunity.
Well, if they could score here, this would be the end of that for sure. Kofi Danning to send this in the penalty area. Any goal now and it's game over, you'd think. In towards the near post, a half a touch there. Graham on the turn, shoots, and it's headed over the crossbar from close range. On the far stick by, I think that was Subasic, who's come forward, and to be fair to the youngster, it's come at him with a fair rate of knots, and to get over that would have been a good finish.
It was a great delivery by Kofi. Whenever you knock a ball in like that, you're always on a chance for a rebound.
Tigers FC 3, Monero Panthers 1, and Woden Western 3, Gangala 0. The other two results today, pretty much close to the end of the game there. This game is nearly all over. Cal Smith looks like he's going to come on for the dying embers of it. As Mensah, who's been inspirational today at the back for FC, clears. This time Pavlak, who's led his side well as skipper, also gets awareness. A miscontrol from Magic, and Danning has it. Magic gets back in to challenge him. Danning gets away from Magic and Tim Bobolis and is still going. Kofi Danning finds Field on the overlap. He's teeing up a shot. James Field strikes it goalwards, and it's pushed away by Constantinu, and no one follows up. An Olympic clear. And they survive one there as Pavlak goes in. A fairly hefty challenge with Gillespie, and it's going to break for Reeve. Good chance that for FC. Field set himself up, and Constantinu made the save. No one could quite get there on the overlap to follow up and get the tap in. His Gillespie at the other end, looking to win it. Joshua Gillespie in the penalty area, but it's been pushed away by Pavlak. And Danning has it, and it's a breathless ending to the game. Chances at both ends.
It's been great. I just wish it had been like this for the 90.
Good save from Constantinu as well to go down low to his right to push that one away. Jeremy Haptamarian's coming off. The replacement is Cal Smith. He's not going to get much time to show us what he can do, but there's a chance. It was a good chance for Field. He set himself up, took his time, got a good hit on it, and I think is that Kai Edwards is coming to the bench now. We're seeing that's good news.
It is, yeah, absolutely.
So we just saw young Kai Edwards walk out onto the bench, so he's up off the stretcher and probably going to have a headache tomorrow morning, but nice to see him back on his feet. Is there time for a winner? In the 94th minute, Jordan Lamb for Canberra FC, who even with 10 men are pushing towards the end, and that's a good foot in, and it's going to be a Canberra Olympic ball.
The linesman's, not sure what his flag.
He's given it a throw in, yeah. He came off of the covering. The Olympic defender kicked it into Graham, I believe, and it went out for the throw. Still, Canberra Olympic can't get rid of it, and this is an ambitious effort from Waters from a long, long way out, and never had the pace to trouble Angela Constantinu as time ticks over into the 5th minute of stoppage time. Olympic looking less likely than FC at the moment to grab what would be the match winner. Sliding in is Subasic, and it's out for a throw-in. Is there one last chance for Canberra Olympic to come forward and get the match-winning goal? Yarnold from Magic. Cal Smith. his first touch. Is it going to be telling? It's a looking ball down the line, but it's over hit it, and Brown's going to come and collect, and referee Bruno Kale looks at his watch. There really can't be too much more time to go. Ball sent forward. Graham challenges Magic well, who wins it at the second attempt. Kresic rather slices that one. Gillespie under challenge from Mensah. Here's Smith. Room on this near side for Michael Reeve. This will be the last chance. Reeve to run into the area and deliver the ball low and high. It's a great ball in. The flag's gone up.
Yeah,
the flag was up for offside, and Brown clears the ball, but the final whistle goes. And Daniel Grinick, interesting contest between two sides, but in the end they cancelled each other out well.
Yeah, I think, you know, in the end, on the balance of chances, I think it was a fair result. You know, certainly the last 5 minutes, 10 minutes offered a little bit of a spark in the game, but generally it was an arm wrestle.
Looking at players of the match, you'd have to say that Michael Mensah was a standout for Canberra FC in everything he did.
Yeah, I thought Mensah was particularly solid for his side. I thought young Kresic caused a lot of problems, as did you know, Kofi Danning for Olympic. I thought young Capitaldo was really good. You know, he just does those 1%ers, those little jobs that people don't see and notice. But you know, he's quality.
Not a lot of clear-cut chances in the second half, but Josh Calabria had an opportunity for Olympic, which he put over. And then right at the end there, James Field credited a chance for himself, and the shot was well saved, but nobody was following up. And I guess when you're down to 10 men at that stage, it's a difficult one. But, you know, opportunities for both teams, but a draw effect result.
I think so. I think so, yeah.
And as a Belconnen coach, you're here next week, and they're playing these boys. You picked up some information?
Yes, no, we certainly have. You know, they're certainly not as potent without you know, Thomas James, and they sort of had to modify the way that they play. So it'll be interesting. And we've got a few little things that we hope to exploit.
Well, thanks, Dean Grinick, for joining me, Russ Gibbs, this afternoon on Bar TV. It's finished here in the nation's capital, the PS4 NPL Capital Football. Canberra FC 0, Canberra Olympic 0.